What's up guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we have something quite a bit different to usual. It is an experiment video in which we are going to put the Ferrari and Mercedes cars right to the back of the grid and see how far up they can get in a 25% race around Spa. So they have 11 laps to catch the likes of Red Bull, Force India, Williams, etc. And yeah, starting right at the back and just seeing, you know, whether like the real life 2017 season, in which of course, you know, you saw in the Mexican Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton really struggled to get up the order. Will that be the case in this video? Let me know down in the comments. Where do you think the highest placed Ferrari or Mercedes driver is going to finish? Are they going to get on the podium? Are they going to win? Or are they even not going to get in the points? Do let me know down in the comments section. But of course, they have the likes of Verstappen, Ocon, Perez and Ricciardo to try and catch, who have locked out the front two rows of the grid. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and you'll be able to see in a minute just where the Ferrari and Mercedes drivers are. But yeah, this experiment video is a real load of fun to record, so let me know down in the comments if there's any other experiments that you want to see me try. And yeah, we are going to get now to the 5 red lights for the Belgian Grand Prix, and away we go. So it's a decent start from all the front runners, no change in the top 4, but what a start there from the two Ferrari drivers, and a complete dive down the inside from Kimi Raikkonen, who is already up into P11. Brilliant start from him, and not a great start in fact from the two Mercedes drivers, who are still at the back of the grid pretty much. As there you can see, running side by side pretty much are a couple of cars, but none of the ones that we're really interested in. And now you can see a rear view of, I believe that is Sebastian Vettel. Yes, it is. We want to be looking forward, and now we are, as Lance Stroll goes for a move on Fernando Alonso, but struggling there is Sebastian Vettel to make any sort of headway. And he's currently in P15. Just ahead of his real-life championship rival, Lewis Hamilton. In behind, as well, you've got Valtteri Bottas, who's in P18 at the moment, so a pretty poor start from him. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how quickly they can sort of dispatch of these, not necessarily back markers, but sort of the lower half of the field. And yeah, you saw there what a great start Kimi Raikkonen got. And it'll be interesting to see what he can do. But currently leading this race, we have that man, Max Verstappen. It's been a brilliant start for him, and he is ahead of Esteban Ocon at the moment. So it's a very young front two at the moment. And then you've got Sergio Perez, followed by Daniel Ricciardo, who had a pretty poor qualifying. But nonetheless, he is still very much in with a chance of at least a podium. Then Nico Hülkenberg in P5. Can he get that illustrious podium finally to his name? And now we're going we're still on lap 2, but we're going to take a look at Kimi Raikkonen, who is, of course, as I mentioned before, in P11 at the moment. And he's going to try and look for a move on Daniel Kvyat in the second Toro Rosso car. Is he going to be able to make a move? No, he isn't. And further back in the order, you can see also not being able to make a move is Sebastian Vettel. So much like the real-life season, struggling to make any sort of overtakes. Of course, we don't have DRS active at the moment, which will make that even more difficult. But lurking there is the world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Surely he'll be looking for a move pretty soon. But now on to lap 3. And you can see Verstappen not really pulling out much of a gap on the Force India cars. Now, this could be pivotal in how high up the Ferrari and Mercedes drivers get. Because if these 4 cars start squabbling with each other, then they are very much going to hold one another up and make it easier for the others to catch up. It's also interesting to note that these guys at the front are on the ultra softs. The Ferrari and Mercedes guys are on the super softs, so they're on the harder tyres, as Esteban Ocon makes a move for the lead of this race, gets it done pretty cleanly on Max Verstappen, and a brilliant move round the outside from Esteban Ocon means that we have a Force India leading this race on lap 3. Now, these guys are going to be pitting pretty soon, which, of course, that's why I say if they start to squabble, that is really going to hinder them. And yeah, currently on the harder tyres are the Ferrari and Mercedes drivers. Now, you can see there This is still, sorry, yes, it's still Sebastian Vettel, who is followed by Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Now, surely Hamilton is going to be looking for a move if, of course, Sebastian Vettel can't get past, which he can't, and they're almost going 4 wide now into Le Mans, and it looks as if Hamilton has made a triple overtake. Yes, he has. What a move. Up into P13. And, well, Sebastian Vettel hasn't actually... He's actually ended up losing 2 positions in that. Valtteri Bottas gets past Sebastian Vettel and up into P15. And Vettel is... sorry, up into P16. And Vettel is down into P17 at the moment, as Bottas now tries to make a move on Lance Stroll. What a move into P1. Brilliant stuff. And it looks as if the 2 Mercedes drivers are the ones making headway at the moment. And it looks as if Max Verstappen, as we skip slightly ahead later on into lap 3, it looks as if Verstappen has issues now at the moment, because he's just got no pace in a straight line. Must have some form of deployment problems, because now Sergio Perez is up into second, and it is a Force India 1-2 for the meantime. Brilliant stuff for them. And there you can see he's going to be chasing after his teammate now. But as we look further back, Daniel Ricciardo is coming into the pit lane very early in this race. And well, he best not be getting stuck in traffic. Same goes for Nico Hülkenberg, or else they could run into troubles further on. And now going back earlier on into lap 3, slightly further back in the field. And, well, still, Kimi Raikkonen cannot get past this Toro Rosso car. And there you can see further up ahead is Pierre Gasly. He has got ahead of Carlos Sainz. But it's Daniel Kvyat who is really holding up Kimi Raikkonen. And now we skip 1 lap further into the race. And there you can see Sainz has been passed by Kvyat. And he's now about to be passed by Kimi Raikkonen as they go through the high-speed Blanchimont corner and towards the bus stop chicane. And it looks as if Raikkonen has finally dispatched of 1 car and is now up into a points-paying position. But still, it's going to be very difficult. But no, there you can see Daniel Kvyat finally pulls into the pit lane and Raikkonen is unleashed. So now this is the chance for him to really get a little bit of a gap. Same with the 2 Mercedes cars, really, if they can get past Sainz. But now coming out of the pit lane, we've got Sergio Perez. And there you can see Daniel Ricciardo has in fact jumped him in the pit phase. So this is very interesting as we're coming up to the halfway mark. Because Daniel Ricciardo has jumped one of the Force Indias. The question is, will he be able to jump the other and get into the net lead of this race? And, well, it would help him very much if he could get ahead of this McLaren. I believe it's Stoffel Van Dorn, who hasn't pitted yet in this Grand Prix. They go side by side, but unsurprisingly, it is Ricciardo that prevails. Now, this is the big one. It's Esteban Ocon coming out of the pit lane. Now, is he going to be ahead of Ricciardo? No, he isn't. He relinquishes the net lead of the Grand Prix, and he's also stuck behind Stoffel Van Dorn. So there's now a 1-car buffer between Ricciardo and Ocon. And if Ocon gets stuck behind Van Dorn for any longer, that is really going to play into the Ferrari and Mercedes hands. So Ocon, now we're actually looking at the rear view. We could do with looking at the front view. It's a really poor camera angle that you get on this circuit on the replay cameras. So yeah, a little bit disappointing. But there you can see Ocon still not being able to get ahead of Stoffel Van Dorn. Meanwhile, further back, we've got Nico Hülkenberg, who has made a move on Sergio Perez. So maybe, just maybe, there's hope for Hülkenberg that he can get a podium. But nonetheless, we are now still on lap 6, and it is Kimi Raikkonen in the lead of this race at the moment. Of course, he hasn't pitted, neither have his 3 counterparts from the back of the grid. But this is their real chance to bolt. I'd imagine they'll probably pit on maybe lap 8. Yeah, I'd probably say about lap 8, maybe even lap 7, lap 8. So they've got at least 1 more lap to really go at it. And now at the start of lap 7, this is what I was talking about. We've got Daniel Ricciardo stuck behind one of the Williams cars. I believe that is Lance Stroll. And this sort of traffic is what is going to play into Ferrari and Mercedes' hands. So Ricciardo, of course, with that Renault engine, doesn't really have the straight line speed, especially on something like a Williams. There's also an Alfa Romeo car there in the way as well. But Ricciardo just doesn't look as if he's really gaining. He may be able to get past the Alfa Romeo, but no, he doesn't. Now, this is going to hurt him, especially in the middle sector where the Red Bull is at its strongest. and it's just not being able to get past even an Alfa Romeo at this stage, as the Alfa and Williams run side by side for the moment. We've got Esteban Ocon, who is looking to pick up the pieces, and that just shows how much time Ricciardo has lost. They are now in a complete train of 4 cars. And yeah, as it comes up to the pit phase for the Ferrari and Mercedes cars, this is a vital point of the race and could prove pivotal once the pits are done. Sorry, the pit phase is done with. And yeah, this is what I mean. Going through this middle sector, you can see Ricciardo just isn't unleashing the full potential of the car. And especially with the Alfa Romeo leading, you know, it's got the worst aero, the worst chassis on the grid, and they are all having to follow in at unison. And now as they go on to the long back straight at Spa, this is where Ricciardo could possibly lose out even, you know, to the Williams, which of course has the better engine, but he is in the slipstream of Lance Stroll. Will he be able to make a move into the final chicane? No, he can't. And he is still behind. And finally, Lance Stroll comes into the pit lane, so I didn't even notice that. Lance Stroll was on old tyres as well, so that must have been what hurt him even more. And now I believe we're going to see some of the cars emerging from the pit lane. Yes, indeed, there it is. That is Lewis Hamilton, I believe, and Sebastian Vettel. So Lewis Hamilton is ahead of Daniel Ricciardo and into the possible... Well, he's into a net P2 because, of course, he was behind behind Raikkonen on the track. So technically, Kimi Raikkonen has the current lead of this race, and now Daniel Ricciardo is having to do some defending from Esteban Ocon. So he's lost the lead of the race, and now he has lost P2, or at least on the track. It may become even worse when Bottas and also Raikkonen emerge from the pit lane. They're going side by side, but the big news is Lewis Hamilton, after starting from the back of the grid, is now ahead of the top 4 and the rest of the grid, in fact. The only cars that he's actually behind on merit are Bottas and Raikkonen, who in fact come into the pit lane at the start of lap 9. So there you can see Kimi Raikkonen, who is quite a way ahead of his fellow countryman Bottas. So Raikkonen now emerging, and surely it's going to be the lead of the race. Yes, it is. There's no Lewis Hamilton in sight. And there comes Valtteri Bottas, pretty much side by side with his teammate. Doesn't quite have the momentum. But this is going to be a brilliant battle for the final 2 spots on the podium, would you believe it? And, well, Sebastian Vettel is a long way behind these 3 cars. You will have been able to see that he is behind the likes of Hülkenberg, Ocon, Ricciardo, and in P6 at the moment. Meanwhile, the 2 Mercedes cars are scrapping for P2, and what a move that is from Valtteri Bottas round the outside of his teammates. Meanwhile, in P4 is Daniel Ricciardo, 5th Ocon, 6th, yeah, that is right, yeah, sorry, Sebastian Vettel is in a net and actual P7. Behind Nico Hülkenberg. So this really isn't good for him at the moment. And now we skip onto lap 10. Will he be able to gain any more positions? And now he goes down the inside of Nico Hülkenberg through P1. He has the better tyres on and the fresher tyres. And that was a pretty easy move for the German. So he's got just 1.5 laps now to try and close up on Esteban Ocon. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. And it's going to be top 3 consisting of 2 Mercedes and 1 Ferrari. The question is, where will the other Ferrari finish? I don't think it'll be quite a top 4, but this is astounding. Like, I expected in this experiment maybe 1 to get on the podium, but no way did I think the top 3 would be cars that started at the back of the grid. It's quite incredible to think, you know, just the complete pace difference, and also how much easier it is to overtake on the game compared to real life. Anyway, this is it. Final lap, final sector of the Grand Prix, and this is Sebastian Vettel's final chance to get P5 in the Grand Prix. He goes down the inside of Esteban Ocon. Brilliant camera view for once through Blanchimont and into the bus stop chicane. They are side by side almost. And now he is going to have the inside line into the final corner. Brilliant stuff for Sebastian Vettel. But there you can see the race winner coming through the final corner now. It is none other than Kimi Raikkonen. Brilliant stuff for him. He wins the Grand Prix. And fantastic stuff ahead of Valtteri Bottas And yeah, further back we have his teammate Lewis Hamilton, who had a pretty poor second half to the race, it has to be said, in P3. And coming home in 4th position is Daniel Ricciardo. Pretty disappointing after leading earlier on in the Grand Prix. And there it is, P5 for Sebastian Vettel. But wow, what an experiment that was. Plenty of overtaking. Hopefully plenty of enjoyment for you guys as well. But yeah, was really, really interesting. Kimi Räikkönen, there he is, winning this Grand Prix. Something which he didn't think would probably be happening when he started in, what was it, P16 on the grid. So yeah, we'll see the final full race results in a minute. But guys, did you expect that to happen or not? Personally, I expected the Red Bulls to run away with it. Obviously, Verstappen had problems, but yeah, I expected at least Daniel Ricciardo to be leading after that pit phase, and you know, even the Force India guys to put up a bit of a better fight. But well, how wrong I was. Maybe that's just Spa. It may have been different, of course, you know, like a track like Monaco, of course. But yeah, even Spa doesn't have, of course, that many overtaking opportunities. But still, it was those 3 that emerged on top, and we will see exactly what the final standings looked like at the end of the Grand Prix. So yeah, up from P17 was Kimi Räikkönen, 18th and 19th for Bottas and Hamilton, with 4th place for Ricciardo. And yeah, just 6th place for Ocon and 7th for Hülkenberg. They'll be disappointed with that, and of course it was big issues for Max Verstappen. But guys, if you did enjoy this video, do make sure to leave a like down below. It really does mean a lot. And until my next video, guys, do take care. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.